Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you guys had a good day today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content. All these videos they get posted over to a subreddit. I'll have that link down below as always, and make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day, all that good stuff. If you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter. I will also have that link down below. And if you're looking for more in-depth content, I'll have my Discord link down below where I give like sportsbook plays, player pools, cores, videos, all that good stuff. Lot of underdog noties I just got, so I just want to make sure I did not miss anything before we go over the video. I don't think I did. Malik Monk, yup, questionable. Zach LaVine in. Domantas Sabonis questionable. Giannis Probably. I think we're all caught up for this slate. So before we do go over the slate, let's get into my lineups from yesterday. So once again, had a really good day. It's been NBA. I haven't had a bink yet, but I think it's been probably one of my best starts to an NBA season to date, which feels pretty fantastic. But let's talk about my lineups from yesterday. This is what I want to talk about, like how how I attack contests, especially small field single entry stuff, is like when we get chalk, like we did yesterday with like Detroit, where like Jenkins was unfadable. Paul Reed was unfadable, right? Um, Ryan Rollins was, I wouldn't say he was a must, but he was a really good play. Same with like DeAndre Hunter. Like, how do you get different? You have to get different, like one or two spots. And this is how I mainly attack small field single entries, eating a lot of chalk and then getting different in like one or two spots. And it works out really, really well. And if you're playing single entry, which I hope most of you do, I know a lot of you guys that watch these videos do MME, play 150 max stuff. A lot of you guys that play this full time as well watch these videos. So yeah, more for the single entry stuff, like getting different one spot, couple of spots, right? Single entry, that's how I like to play. So my core for this slate, it was a really chalky core. Like you couldn't get away from Jenkins yesterday. He was obviously core. Paul Reed was an absolute must. You couldn't get away from him yesterday. He was obviously core for me. DeAndre Hunter was core. Um, who was the fifth? I don't know who the fifth. I think the fifth was. What was my other lineup? I don't know who the fifth was. I think I said get to at least one of Ron Holland, Kyle Kuzma, and someone else. I think that's what it was. And then to get off some chalk, I played Peyton Pritchard, Devin Booker in a great spot. He was really low and was surprised by that. Pritch only 1% owned, so like that's how I got different. And you can see in this lineup, I basically did the same thing. I played Peyton Pritchard at 1%. And I played Devin Booker again, and then Denny was another spend up I was really high on yesterday. 32 real life points and dropped 40 fantasy points. I feel like that's the biggest outlier I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Wild, wild, wild. But without further ado, let's get into the NBA slate for today. Sorry, NFL is about to lock, so if I open Discord answering questions, that'll be why. But I'm going to get this done before NFL locks, so I think we should be good. All right, we have an 8-game slate here. Some news to attack. Some out tags that we already have for tomorrow. It's going to be a wild one. So let's get into it. We have Harrow and Bam Adebayo out. And I still like to target these Miami games. Like, they're always under-owned. Miami plays so fast. Every single game they're in is extremely, extremely high scoring. Like, we have to look at 116, 130, 140, 138, 136, 131, 126. They're scoring and pushing the pace and scoring a ton of points, forcing other teams to push the pace and score a ton of points. So like, different from years prior, Miami games are probably going to be, from this point going forward, or obviously like a week into the season when we figure this out, some of the best game environments to target on the slate. Where like last year, 2 years ago, we didn't want anything to do with the games going up against Miami. So like complete flip flop. With that being said, though, I don't think anyone's an amazing play here on Miami. um, I'm not going to say no if you want to keep playing Jamie at 7.4K. His role is just absolutely absurd right now, so I'm not going to say no. I think, I don't think he's going to continue to shoot 65% from the field, like 58, 65, 68, 64, 66, 66. So, like, maybe there's some regression coming. But if you want to play Jamie, man, I'm not going to say no at all. I think given the spot, like, this is a good spot for Norm Powell at 7.1K. Knicks, they really struggle against guys that, like, shoot three-point shots, spot up, all that stuff. So, like, this is a really good Norm Powell spot. So I really like Norm Powell in tournaments. I think Wiggins you can obviously get to at 6.7K. Ware's fine at 6.3K, and then Davion has a high floor. I don't mind him. Like, these two guys are like fine if I'm getting into this game environment. I don't mind. I think Ware's pretty good play at 6.3K. Just the ceiling's massive, and the environment of this game should be pretty good. And the Knicks have not been able to play much defense this year at all. I'm pretty sure they've been in pretty high scoring. Yeah, 133, 134, 137, 128, right? Some insane stuff. So no Brunson on this side of the game. I think you're going to have to get into some of these Knicks. So Cat looks phenomenal at 9.4K with no Brunson. Usage rate goes way, way up. He's going to have to do everything for this team. Pace up spot, obviously, he looks great. OG and McHale, they get a significant bump. They're really good point per dollar plays. I don't mind if you want to get into Josh Hart at 5.9K. Miles McBride at 4.8K, really good value. Jordan Clarkson's going to get a bump at 4.2K. He has a massive ceiling. He'd probably be your pivot in tournaments if McBride's going to be really popular. What else do we have here? I don't want to play Mitch. And I think that's probably it. Just monitor starting lineup. It'd probably just be Miles McBride. But monitor it. All right. Moving on to Brooklyn. Not the spot I want to attack here. Orlando, they're not great against ball handlers, but they're great against spot-up shooting, three-point shooting, all that good stuff. So, like, Igor Demon at 4.4K, if I was playing anyone, might be my favorite play here on Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr. is in a really bad spot, but you can't argue that the role and the volume is monstrous. So I would keep him in my player pool. Nick Claxton's role has been great. I will say if Day'Ron Sharpe is out tomorrow, that's a significant bump to Nicholas Claxton. He's probable. Would have liked that more. Claxton's just fine at 6.8K, not the best spot. I don't think I'm going to get to any of this value, though. I think we'll just have so much better value opening up later on such a bigger slate. All right, let's move on to Orlando. We have Paolo Banchero out. We have Mo Wagner out. So, yeah, I think this is a great spot for everyone here. So, Franz at 8.5K looks great. Desmond Bane, I really like at 7K. Ball handling roles should go up with Paolo out as well. So, that's a bump to both their peripheral stats. Really into him. I like Jalen Suggs quite a bit at 5.1K. He's basically off his minutes restriction. So, if we're going to continue to get 30 minutes from him in this spot, I really like him. Wendell Carter Jr. I'm not going to say no to. Tristan DeSilva is going to get more runs. Same with Jonathan Isaac. Isaac started the second half, but we always know they don't want to play Isaac big minutes. But I think those two would get the bump. Both good values. And I think that's it for Orlando. Really good spot, though. Let's move on to Philadelphia. VJ Edgecombe is questionable. If he's out, the biggest bumps are going to go to Quentin Grimes, Jared McCain, Kelly Oubre. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George. So Tyrese Maxey, tough spot here going up against Detroit, but always going to be a great spend up on any slate that he's on. VJ, if he plays, has been a lot worse of late, a little bit worrisome, more of just a strictly tournament play for me. I think people are going to gravitate towards Quentin Grimes here if VJ sits, just going to play a ton of minutes in that case. He's been really good. He's actually handling the ball a decent amount off of the bench, so he'd be a solid play. Same with Kelly Oubre. I like Kelly Oubre regardless at 6.2K. And I think Drum's getting to the price point to where I think he should be. Same with like Trent and Watford. And then, yeah, keep it on the VJ news. That could open up like the wings. All right, let's move on to Detroit. Can these guys just play, please? Cade Cunningham, questionable. Jalen Duren, questionable. Alder Thompson out. Tobias Harris out. Isaiah Stewart, I believe, is doubtful, if I recall correctly, from the injury from Underdog. Questionable. All right, yeah, if they're out, yeah, I still think Paul Reed looks phenomenal at 5.8K. Still really good play, even at that price point. Dennis Jenkins at 6.1K would still be a really good play. Played 40 minutes. We know he's a guy that can do a bit of everything. So they would still be good plays. They obviously wouldn't be as good of plays as they were yesterday, but still would have interest in them. Karis LeVert had a slow start, but ended with a solid game. 5.3K. I don't think he's going to play a ton of minutes, but you can make the argument there. Ron Holland has been absolutely horrific. If you like him as a bounce back candidate, probably won't be owned as he should be. I don't mind that. And then Dunk, Javonte Green, they're more so priced right for me. And then I will mention Tolu Smith at 3.6K. He got the backup 5 run. He's a really good point per minute guy. So in like lineups that do fade Paul Reed, I think Tolu Smith is a little bit interesting to say the least. More of like a large field tournament play though. All right, then if everyone's in, yeah, I mean, Jalen Duren's just going to dominate in this spot. I love his upside with no Ozzer Thompson, so fire up Duren. I think Cade would be a great spend up. And then everyone else would basically be out of play for me at their current price points. All right, let's move on to Portland here. Not the best matchup going up against Houston here, but I love this Portland team. Not for DFS, just in real life. I think the main guys I'm looking to here is like Drew Holiday, Denny, but more so tournament plays for me. I think Denny I'd prefer to Drew. Klingon they'll probably need out there at 5.1k. Someone I'd definitely consider in like a large field tournament, and I think that's probably it for me. Not as excited about Portland as I usually am. And I'm not as excited about Houston as I normally am, as Portland's been pretty scrappy this year. But yeah, Sengun at 9.5k probably is the highest floor and ceiling on this team. I prefer Amen to Kevin Durant. He's probably going to project worse than Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant is for some reason chalky because the price point does seem a little bit too cheap, just give me Amen all day long. Jabari is okay for value. I don't mind Tari. I wouldn't play both together, though. Reed Shepard's been good. I like him more so when you're playing for like a blowout or something like that. When you're not playing any of the main Houston guys, I think that's where I'd get into Reed Shepard. I don't think I'm going to mess with the value, though. Let's move on. Charlotte here. We do have LaMelo Ball coming back. Thank God. We'll have to monitor if he's going to be on some type of limit or not. Ankle injury, so we'll have to see. I feel like when he's always come back, he hasn't really been on any type of limit. So if he's full go here at sub 10k price point in a really good spot, I would really like LaMelo Ball. That's gonna hurt everyone else is priced up for when LaMelo is out, so I don't think we can get to anyone outside of LaMelo Ball. It's mainly sorry, Kalkbrenner's out. Musa at 4.2k I think is one of the better values that we've gone over so far. Outside of that, I can't get to anyone at their current price points. I think they're all sort of priced up enough. All right, moving on to the Bucks. Giannis is probable for tomorrow. I think he's probably one of the best spend-ups on the board. He's always going to be one of the best spend-ups on the board. I obviously love it's Luka and Giannis for me. So they look great. Ryan Rollins downgrade with Giannis coming back. I would say he's priced correctly. This is a great spot for Miles Turner. I have some interest in him in tournaments. I think he's a sneaky tournament play tomorrow. I won't be messing with any of this value. All right, let's move on to Sacramento. Domantas Sabonis is questionable. Malik Monk is also questionable. If they're both out, sure, you can get into like, I don't know, like Nick Clifford, Drew Eubanks. I feel like we'll have better value, though. Precious Achiuwa, like those three you can get into. I feel like we'll have better value, though. What else do we have here? I think Russ is priced right. I think the price point on Sabonis is way too cheap at 8.6k if he plays. And then Levine will probably be my second favorite play here. I think everyone else is just like meh. And then we'll have to monitor the Sabonis and Malik Monk news for sure. We have Levine back, so it's gonna take like Keon Ellis. All right, move on to Minnesota. Yeah, I really like the price point of Anthony Edwards. I think he's a really good spend up. He's really turned it on of late. He's had some really good spots though. Matchup up against Utah, rematch here. Up against Sacramento, where he only dropped 44 fantasy points, but only played 30 minutes because it was a blowout. I like him quite a bit once again here. I think it's just too cheap. He should be like a 9.5k, 9.6k player, playing huge minutes in competitive games as well. So, really like Anthony Edwards. I think Randall's okay at 8.3k. And then Rudy Gobert at $6,000 is just playing a ton of minutes this year. It's double upside every single night. Good defender. They just want to play him a ton this year. So I think offers a solid floor with some ceiling. So I do like Gobert as a contrarian tournament play. Nothing else here for me. All right, last two games of the night. Lakers at Pelicans. Yeah, I love Luka. It's going to be tough deciding between Luka and Giannis. I think I give the slight edge to Luka Doncic, but I'm not going to hate you if you want to pick either one or if you go neither. But I think he looks phenomenal. I think Austin Reeves is playable at $8,000, but I prefer spending the extra $3,000 getting up to $4,000 getting up to Luka Doncic. DeAndre Ayton at 6.5k. This is a spot where he should be able to feast. If nobody's going to play him, I'd be overweight in large field tournaments, but his production has been up and down so far this year. He's been focusing more defensively as well, and then the value is just out of play with Luka Doncic back. And Reeves back. All right, Pelicans. We still have Zion and Jordan Poole out. Missy was back in the rotation last game, but he got ejected. I don't think I'm going to mess with the bigs and like Derek Queen, Missy, and Kevon Looney. I know Queen's been great, but if he's owned tomorrow, I'll just easily fade that. I do like Herb Jones for value at 5.1K. Need him out for defense as long as he can stay out of foul trouble, should play big minutes. What else here? Fears at 4.8K. Let me pull up their last game. Is pretty good. He's kind of crushed blowout 1 or 2 games. What else? Like I said, I'm not getting into the bigs. I love the ceiling on Trey Murphy. I like to play him when he's lower owned. He's been horrific when he's been chalk, and I've went back at lower ownership and it's worked out massive. I think he's going to project really well tomorrow. Just going to say that, but I really like him. And then, yeah, you can get the fears. Sadiq Bey is fine. It's like solid, depending on ownership for me personally. Let's move on to the Clippers. I love targeting Dallas. I love Zubac tomorrow at 7.1K. Love him. Collins has been horrific. If you want to go there as a bounce back candidate, no ownership, I get it. And then James Harden, I think, is a really solid spend up as well with no Kawhi Leonard. If you want to get into like the Duns, the Derrick Jones Jr.'s, I guess it's okay. They've been like messing with the rotation with like Bogey's been in and out of the rotation. Same with like Chris Paul. All right, Dallas, we have Anthony Davis questionable, and we have P.J. Washington, who got hurt last game, as questionable as well. If they're both out, I feel like they're going to have to, and Lively, I feel like they're going to have to play Gafford a bit. Najee Marshall's going to get a bump as well. Cooper Flag would be really, really, really solid. And then Brandon Williams, I would like at 5.4K as well. And then I would like Najee, Daniel Gafford. Max Christie will have to play a lot, but I don't love the price point. Maybe they play Klay Thompson a little bit more than they did last game. So just keep an eye on the news. We could have more plays here for Dallas. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for the NBA slate. I hope you guys had a great day today, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.